Okay, here we go. Alright, let's see. I gotta do something here. Gotta make sure everything's working. Because with this new internet, I want to make sure everything's going the way it should and that nothing's screwing up. Let's go ahead and go back and make sure. Oh, jeez. Well, I'm already having trouble with YouTube and it pulling its bullshit. Ah, here we go. Got it. There we go. Alright, cool. Oh god, it's about to echo back. Okay, now that it's working, hello all you awesome YouTube subscribers, my name is WomanJinBot, and welcome to a game called Pacific Drive. So, the thing about this game, it's basically a survival slash driving game, and the concept of this game is very unique in the fact that you do not actually get to fight back against whatever's going on in the world. You are basically stuck not being able to fight anything. However, you do have a car, which basically the way it works is that your car is, well, your lifeline. The car is the only way to survive everything that's going on in the game. So, but yeah. So I've got the settings all set up. I do have radio music on. I have the main music turned off, radio music on, but I do have streamer safe mode, so it'll disable the copyrighted music from playing on the car radio and everything. Ing. So yeah. Anyways, let's go ahead and get this game started. Here we go. Do do do. Alright. Keeping an eye on this with my phone. In 1947, the Olympic Peninsula became the staging ground for a promising new technology. As rumors of its utopian creation spread, so did stories about overnight evacuations, unsolved disappearances, and unnatural encounters. In 1955, the government walled off a section of the peninsula to establish the Olympic Exclusion Zone. For 30 years, the zone's borders grew until the government withdrew and sealed every access point. What happened inside was never disclosed. Alright, here we go. Oh, God. Pay attention to the road, Warren. Alright. So, yeah, basically, the whole idea behind this game, is your car is basically your lifeline. Without it, you're screwed. You need to do everything you can to keep your car repaired, keep it moving, and make sure that, it doesn't get destroyed. Because without it, you have no protection against the zone and all of the things that happen in it. I won't disclose those things because I don't want to spoil this. So, oh. Alright, guys. So, I gotta pause real quick, and I gotta go take care of something, so I'll be back in a bit. Alright, I'm back, guys. Sorry about that. Sorry it took so long. Ugh. Had a bit of a situation to deal with. Alright. Okay. Go. Dang it. Yeah. Bit dark, so. I do have streamer safe mode on, so none of these songs should be copyrighted. Should be good to go. But yeah. Shoot. I'm not looking at the screen. Yet again, not freaking paying attention. Yeah, that don't look good. Oh boy. I don't like the look of this. Oh. Well, that ain't good. Oh god, and that's even worse. Shit! Oh, fuck. Well, here we are. Yet, I think old Betsy's not going anywhere anytime soon, so we best get out of here. And it actually is kind of important that you get out of here. The radiation in this zone will kill you, as I found out. Okay. And I don't think I said anything before, but this will not be a blind playthrough. I have played through this game several times by this point. So I know what to expect, I know what's what, and how to do things. So,
Someone out there?
yeah.
Hello? What a swan. Never mind. Francis, the radar's acting up again. You were supposed to tune up this piece of junk years ago.
Alright. So now we put on this wheel. And this is our car. The car that we are going to be using for the rest of the game. So yeah, get used to it.
Oh, the signal. Yes, it's back. It's back. This is Tobias Barlow and Francis Cook, located in mid-zone Sector B. Do you read me? I'm picking up your distress signal in the outer zone. It looks like you're somewhere around Sector E. Hey, Francis, come here. Yes, it's urgent. Leave that interferometer alone for a second. Something is out there. Hey, we got a live one. Hey, do you copy? Hello? Hello? Is this thing working?
They don't have a transmitter. We won't hear a thing back.
Huh. But if they're stranded, could they, they're from outside? They're a breacher?
Okay.
Hey, how did you get through the barrier wall? No one's gotten into the zone in ages and lived to tell about it.
And if we don't get any safety, this one won't either.
That's a good point. Hey, you're in serious danger.
There we go.
Instability's closing in, and it's going to scramble you quicker than beef in a blender. Your closest shelter is a few miles east. Get there however you can, and be quick about it.
Alright. Now we put the gas we just siphoned in the tank. Try not to interrupt the dialogue, so... but I do gotta do this quickly. Go. Oh, yep, and that's why.
Whoa, wait, hold the phone. There it is again, that blip on the spectrometer. I've seen that waveform before, but where? No kidding. What it be? A remnant?
That can't be. There hasn't been one in decades.
Look at that spectral fingerprint and tell me that doesn't match the remnants exactly.
No. What we should be looking at is how fast this creature seems to be moving.
Huh. You know, if I didn't know better, I'd say they're going about the speed of a... No way, do not tell me. They found a remnant and it's a car this time? Holy Christ! No one's had working wheels in here for ages.
There we go.
Boy, I'd kill to know how a combustion engine's still chugging away out there.
Okay, let's not get ahead of ourselves. First, the breacher needs to get to safety.
It spun out.
Then we can look into whether that car is a remnant or not.
In my heart of hearts, I already know. They're back, baby.
Alrighty. Gotta get through here. Yeah. Sorry about earlier. I had to go AFK and deal with some stuff. And it took a lot longer than I thought it would, so. But I will say this, it's nice to be back streaming. I had really bad internet for a while there that just didn't let me stream at all. And we just recently upgraded our internet. So now I have speeds high enough to actually be able to stream with no issues. Which is definitely nice. Because it really sucked not being able to stream. I definitely prefer streaming over just uploading videos. So, yeah. Anyways, now that we are here, we open this up. And we turn this on. And we say hello to Oppie. This time that.
Who's there?
Yep, there she is.
Shop. It's been breached. You've got 5 seconds to get the hell out before I... Ow!
Hello, attention. This message is for Dr. Ophelia Turner. Send a breach into your garage on official zone business. Now, we have it on very good authority. This version is in possession of a remnant.
Yeah.
You call the remnant thing. She's not gonna care.
There we go.
Right, like I said, super official zone business. Protocol demands until we can get them to safety. Now, if you do not comply, I will occupy this broadcast channel with a recitation of the entire collection of poems I've personally written in 10 years and 17 volumes. And
Just that voice goes like a nail gun to the skull. Another breacher, huh? How do you outsiders not understand that Arda didn't build that 300-meter wall out there for fun? Unless you're one of the unfortunates who got zapped through. Wait, I just remembered. I don't give a damn why or how you got here. You're trespassing, and I'd kindly like you to get the hell out of my zone.
What if I could, lady?
Unfortunately, the barrier wall is as fortified against breaches trying to get in as it is against anyone or anything trying to leave.
Okay, so now that Oppie's finally done talking, what we first need to do is run out here and grab the wheel that came off. And then come back over here, we put it back on, and then we drive the car into the garage. There we go. Put it in park, shut her off. By the way, if you leave the car running, it will burn through your fuel, so don't leave it running any longer than you have to. Unless you're like trying to get, like, you need to really quickly get out, grab something, and get back in, then I would not recommend leaving your vehicle running when you leave it. So, alright, anyway, so now we will do what the thing is telling us to do. So we open the headset, and this is our inventory. This is like the stuff where all of our tools and the materials get kept when we pick them up. And then this is the blueprints section. This is basically a list of all of the blueprints we have and what all it takes to craft certain things. Now on this particular one, from the pause menu, if we go to a certain thing, in this case the crude door, which is what it wants us to do, there's a button prompt on there that will let us pin it to our checklist. And then if we do so and we back out, on the left side of the screen we'll see a list of all the different materials that we'll need. So the icons are basically the materials that we're going to need for this, which we've got we need 2 glass shards, 3 duct tape, 4 plastic, and 3 scrap metal. So in order to get that, we are going to need to do some looting. First thing we can loot is this car trunk out here. Unfortunately, though, it is locked. However, after interacting with it, the game gives us a prompt and lets us search this toolbox. In which case, we then discover that this toolbox has a mechanics kit, 2 rolls of duct tape, and a pry bar. And basically, that's what all will allow us to get the things we need to be able to craft the crude door. So first things first, let's go ahead and hotkey that crowbar we got, and then we equip it, and then we can use it to jimmy open this trunk. 2 glass shards and 3 road flares in there. So yeah. And now that we have everything out of that, I'd like to introduce you guys to the Friendly Dumpster. And yes, it is actually called the Friendly Dumpster. And there's a reason why. Interacting with him will give you stuff. In this case, a couple of road flares and a scrapper. One of the essential tools of this game if you want to be able to get enough parts to upgrade stuff. Basically, what the scrapper is, it's a tool that lets you walk up to cars that have parts on them, like this one, and it lets you break them down into their components. So you pick up all the stuff that it scrapped, and just keep doing this with all of the panels. So yeah. Now a little thing about trunks. I want to explain this right now because a lot of people make this mistake, so I want to correct some people on this. A lot of people think that, oh, I can just scrap the trunk to open it and then I can just take the items inside anyways. Well, if the trunk is locked or closed, I would not recommend that. Because apparently what it does is it actually destroys a good amount of the stuff that's inside of it. So you don't get as much as you would if you were to say, jimmy open the trunk and then scrap it. So because I jimmied open the trunk first, I got everything that was in it. And now I can scrap the trunk to get all of the materials from it. And you can scrap the wheels, the doors, the hood, the trunk. You can scrap all of these different panel pieces. So it's worth doing so, because it gets you a good amount of stuff to do it. And for a while, you're going to be scrapping basically every vehicle you see. Anytime you see a vehicle, you're going to be stopping and scrapping it. So, and now that we've gathered enough materials, which the to-do list says we have, we can go into the workbench here, scroll over, and we can craft a crude door. A crude door takes 3 scrap metal, 4 plastic, 3 duct tape, and 2 glass shards. So in this case, we craft it, and voila, we now have a crude door in our hands. Now, what a lot of people also don't realize when they first start playing this game is that the crude doors fit on every space that contains a door. So in this case, it can fit the front, the front doors, the back doors, and even the trunk. I could put this here if I want, but I'm not going to. I actually just want it right here, and then that here, because for now I want this open so that I don't have to worry about opening and closing it just yet. But I will be putting one here later on, because I do need that for protection. So for now, though, I don't, it's just kind of an inconvenience, so I'm not going to do that. But another thing we need to do, interact with the locker, and we need to take a look at the stuff in here. First off, there's a thing of repair putty in here, which we will need. Then there's the spare tire that's in here. I don't need that, but I need that. So, need that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop it and up it so that I can pick it up later. And then I'm going to take the first aid kits that are in here, and I'm going to leave the chemicals because I do not need those. And I'm going to store all the other materials I got in here because this is where you store them, in these lockers. And now that I've got this, first off, let's take a look at this. Okay, that's in pretty good condition. Because when you get this tire out of here, out of this locker, because it'll give it to you every time, it'll be in a random, state. It'll be in a random condition. It won't have anything wrong with it, in terms of status effects, but it will have a random amount of health. Sometimes it can be, basically out of health, and then other times it can have, almost full health, or be completely full of health. And at the moment, it is basically almost full on health. Unlike this one, which is not only loose, but is also on its last legs. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this, and I'm going to replace this one. And now that I've replaced it, I can throw that thing down, and I do not need this one anymore. So I'm going to scrap it, take its materials, and put them in here. I'm also going to do a bit of rearranging. Sorry, this is my OCD kicking in. And we put that there. And voila. Now, what the game is telling us to do, it says equip the repair putty. So, let's do that. When you go into your inventory, if you don't have something hotkeyed, because, you don't really need it hotkeyed and you just want it for certain situations, you can still equip it from the inventory. You'll see a button prompt when you hover over the item that you want to equip. So in this case, I just press that button, it equips it, and then I come back. And when I come back out of the menu, it'll be in my hands. And you can't have something in your hands without having it on your hotbar. That's a good thing about this game. So now, we take this, and we slap some of it on the parts. And that actually does repair the parts. So, we take this, slap some on there, and you get a spit shine. And you get a spit shine. And you get a spit shine. Fine. And you get a spit shine. And you get a spit shine. And you get a spit shine. Alright, now that all of those parts are repaired, we're going to check out the tires. I do want to repair these, because they are kind of not in the greatest condition. Especially this one. This one's next to no health. Okay. With the repair putty, though, it takes a lot more hits of the repair putty to repair the tires than it does to repair anything else. The tires are the hardest thing to repair. And they're what's going to take the most amount of stuff in order to fix. But I am going to keep slapping it with this just until it's Yeah, okay, that should be good. I don't want to waste too much more of this. Okay, that's not that bad, so we'll leave that for now. That's okay. And that's okay. And I think just about everything else is all good. Yeah, there's no panel there. That one we just put on. And then this one's good. These are all good. Yeah, so basically everything else is good. We don't need to waste any more repair putty on this. But we do need to do this next part. So another thing that's crucial to this game is the ability to sorry, scan items. And that includes car parts. So scanning it, if you see that there's a symbol on it next to what the name of the item is, then that means there's something going on with it. It has a status effect. In this case, the status effect is that it's flat, and it needs a sealing kit in order to fix it. So, let us craft a sealing kit. We go over to the repair putty icon, scroll down, and we have a sealing kit. And now, we use said sealing kit to seal the tire. And that makes it to where the car will now drive straight again. And now we've got something on the other wheel. So what do? We scan it. What exactly is wrong with this? It's loose. So we need a mechanics kit. And we actually picked one up earlier out of that toolbox. So let's equip it. And then we use it on the wheel. Ding ding. Boom. Good as new. Ooh. Alright. And now, before we leave, or do anything else, I want to go ahead and interact with this guy, see what else he's going to give. Nope. Okay. He's not going to give anything else. That's usually how it is. After you get, like, the first bit of items from him, like the 2 road flares and then the scrapper, he doesn't give up anything else until after you make a run. So, in that case, we'll move on with this. First thing we do, we grab these cardboard boxes that were sitting next to the fuel pump there, and we install them in the trunk. These are going to be our storage unit. There would allow us to put repair items like the repair putty, as well as scrap items and other things that we don't need right away, and we can store them in the trunk of our car. And it's also what lets us haul a large amount of scrap and materials back in order to craft stuff with. So yeah, we're definitely going to need these. Then next, we've got the crafting mat. So, what do? We put the crafting mat in the trunk of our car. And this will allow us to craft certain items.
There's a little prototype of mine in the garage. The ARC device. Hook it up to your car, wherever it'll fit.
Okay, before I got interrupted, I was going to explain that these will basically, this will basically allow us to craft tier F, like tier 0 and tier 1 items while out on the road. And that'll allow us to, like, craft emergency replacement parts or craft new equipment. Like, I could craft a pry bar right now if I needed to, and I could craft a scrapper and a first aid kit and a few other things. I don't need to at the moment, so I'm not going to. But you can craft that stuff on the road should you need to. So that's a good thing. Now, finally, before we head out, we need to install what's known as the ARC device. So the ARC device, I'll explain here in a minute once I get it installed and Oppie finishes her explanation. She does a piss poor job of explaining it, by the way.
This beauty won't just be your tour guide. It's your North Star and the only way back to safety. Heck, you should consider it the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit if you plan on staying alive. That's how important this thing will be to you. Yes, that's my very own invention. I'll tell you more about it if you live long enough to use it.
Like I said, she does a piss poor job of explaining it. But basically what this is, it's basically the map of the area that you're currently in. It'll show you what all's around, all of the structures, and it'll show some other things that you're going to need in order to, like, get back to the garage, which I'll explain a bit later once Oppie's done her thing about it. But, because right now it's kind of hard to explain. But yeah, basically it's a map. It shows you everything that's in your area and what all the available routes are to go to it and everything. So yeah, basically that's what all this does. And you can zoom in and out on it. I can't do that right here because, you know, this area is pretty small. So, yeah, not going to do that. Anyways, yeah. That's basically your map and everything, and it's the way you figure out where you need to go and a few other things. Alright, now we come over here and we pick up these blueprints. The first one is a gear blueprint, and the second one is for an impact hammer. And both of those will be needed out on this journey. Next up, before you leave, whenever you're getting ready to head out on a trip in order to like gather supplies or continue the story or whatever, make sure you use this, because this will be what you can use to refill your car before you leave. And yes, your car does burn through fuel, for those of you who are wondering. So yeah, you do actually need fuel. And another thing is that your car also needs battery power. So,
If you're all set, take a look at the projector against the wall.
okay, so you hit this station here, and it'll charge your battery back up. And now, I'm going to go over a few things that the game doesn't really tend to explain until later, just because I know some people are going to be wondering about it. So this station here is actually going to be used at one point, because this game has what's known as quirks. And the quirks are basically certain things that your car does that seem weird. So just for an example, I'm going to use one that happened to me a while back, because if we look inside here, you can see we have a dome light. And that dome light is able to be turned on. However, at one point, I had a quirk where every time I opened my hood, the dome light would come on. And And there was another a while back, when I was doing a run of this game, where every time I put the car into park, my passenger door would fly open. And now those are just a few of the quirks you can have. Some of them are helpful, some of them are harmful, and some of them are just plain annoying. And then hell, there was one where every time I moved backwards, my hood popped open. So, yeah. Anyways, then we got this thing, which, oh crap. I'm sorry guys, I gotta go AFK again. Give me a minute. Okay, sorry about that, guys. I'm back. uh, now, as I was getting ready to say before I had to jump and run, basically this is your car's board. This is the board for telling you what all is going on with your car. Alright. So basically this side over here on the left will tell you what panels are damaged, what panels need to be replaced, or repaired, and so forth and so on. So for color coding, you've got light blue, which means that the thing is basically at full health. Slightly darker blue, which means it's a little bit damaged and down to about a quarter health, but not too bad. Yellow means it's down closer to half health and below. And then red means that basically the parts are about to be destroyed. Wait, so... And then for gray, as you can see for certain bits here, gray means that the part is missing. So basically gray is just like, you don't have that part is what it's telling you. So we don't have a front left headlight or front left fender, nor do we have a right rear fender, trunk, or rear bumper. So yeah, that's basically what that's telling us. And that arrow flashing is basically telling us that one of our doors is open. In this case, it's telling us that the rear door is open because we don't have one. So if I open this door, it'll start telling me that the right rear one is open as well. So yeah. And then for the middle part, you've got all your different attachment slots. Now the attachments are things like battery and fuel tank extensions, then the engines, or things that give your car special abilities, stuff like that. And this will basically tell you if anything's wrong with them, including if anything's wrong with the engine, indicated by the engine icon. It'll tell you if anything has status effects by putting marks on them, and a few other things. And then finally, you've got the right-hand side, which you can see two parts of. You can see the quirks thing, which basically, if it's in light blue, that means your car doesn't have any quirks. If it's in like yellow, that means your car does have quirks. And for these bars, you've got ours. Each one tells you a different thing. So this yellow bar that's on the left, normally it wouldn't be yellow, but basically what it's telling you is that the car's protection is good. Like basically that's the car's ability to protect you at the moment. Oh wait, and how well guarded you are. It's basically like the car's health. So, health. If the bar is full, like you see here, but it's in yellow, that means that all the parts that are on there are in good condition, but there are parts missing that won't missing, and as a result, you won't be as protected. Then you got the middle bar, which is your fuel bar. That tells you if the car's fuel is full or not. And then finally, you've got the far right bar. Oh. Alright. Give me a second. Let me finish explaining this, and I gotta go again. Hopefully it shouldn't be too long this time, though. But, yeah, the far right bar is your battery bar. That tells you how much of a charge your battery has left. So, yeah, and then the bottom bar, like I said, that tells you if you have quirks, and, like, how bad the quirks are. Well, I'm not sure if it tells you how bad the quirks are, but it'll turn yellow if your car has any quirks. So, yeah. And, yeah, like I said earlier, you use this station to fix quirks. And now, we move on to probably one of the most important parts of this game, and that is the route planner.
This is the zone. Within these borders, all matter has lost the ability to hold a constant physical state. What that means is the shape, size, and makeup of just about everything constantly changes. Mild grass can turn into 10 miles of swamp in the blink of an eye, and it does. Constantly. It's caused by something we call instability. We're completely surrounded by it, and once you've watched it chew through entire mountain ranges, you'll understand that you don't want to get anywhere near it. We can only survive in here within pockets of stability. That's what you're standing in now. And that's what you're seeing mapped on the route planner. Until then, you won't be able to detect stabilized routes beyond your immediate area. So, you've got to go hunting for parts, and that means taking a drive. Go on, pick a route. The Arc device in your car will then show you where you need to go.
Okay, so basically, just to give you a little bit of info about this and the way it works. So, this is the way you plan a route and plan out where you want to go in the zone. So, at the moment, there's only one destination that we can pick. But the way it works is we can kind of pick each junction and see what all is going on with it. We hold X to select it.
Make a left out of the garage, follow the access road.
Yep. And then if we take a look at this on the right side, we can see a few things. So first off, it tells us whether or not we can open an exit gateway here. Here, which is important because if it doesn't say that, then that means we cannot plan a route to that destination. We cannot plan a route with that being our final destination, basically. So we have to plan it with another destination in mind if it does not have that on it. And then it also tells us if there's a main quest in the area, which in this case there is. It also tells us the junction conditions. Now, junction conditions basically are like, I guess you could consider them wild cards, because it basically affects how certain things in the zone work. I won't really go into too much detail because I'll spoil a few things if I do, but at the moment we have the one called perpetual stability. Take all the time you need, the instability won't advance. Basically meaning we can take as long as we need here, do everything we need to do, and not have to worry about, like, the instability closing in and catching us by surprise. We're not in any serious danger here. And then, if we hit the right button on the top, up, you can see it, we can switch over to the details section. And this will tell us a few things about the area. The first two bars at the top let you know about how far the distance away, about how far the distance is from the gate that you have to be before you can open it, which the gateway is basically the way you return back. How much anchor energy there is, which is what's used to open the gateway to get back, which I'll explain more later. Then there's atmospheric shifts and density, the radiation density, the zone storm, fuel density, vehicle density, building density, and resource density. It'll tell us all of that by looking at this. Then it'll tell us what all kinds of items and anomalies are in there, as long as we scanned them, which, because we haven't scanned any yet, we can't do that. So everything down below is just labeled as not recognized. So we'll have to scan some things while we're there to get things going. But yeah. So, like I said though, I do have to go AFK again, hopefully for not very long, but I do have to go AFK for a bit so I can take care of something. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Thankfully that didn't take too long. And now, we are ready to embark. So, before we go though, I do need to explain a few things in here as well. So first off, this right here is our ability menu. This basically lets us pick different buttons to assign it to, and assign different abilities to them. At the moment, we don't have any abilities, so we can't do that. But there is something else on the right side that's important as well. So on the right side, you'll see a bar along with some numbers. The bar and the numbers are basically telling us how much battery we can have and how much battery we currently have. So the yellow number is basically telling us how much battery power we can have at one time. And the red number is telling us how much we currently have. So at the moment, our battery is as full as it's going to get. And that's also indicated by the yellow dot on the bar. The yellow dot on the bar is basically what tells us, hey, this is where your bar can go up to at the moment. So yeah. And then directly below the yellow number, we have the headlight icon, which headlight basically tells us if the headlights are on or off. Off. And then we've got some icons on the dashboard. The icons will tell you various things. So in this case, we've got an icon that with the doors open on both sides of the car. That basically tells us one of our doors is open. In this case, it's the rear one because we're missing it. The one below that is the that's the parking brake one, which basically tells us the car is currently in park, so it's not going to move. And then we've got one that is a shield with a plus icon on it. That one tells us that the car protection is compromised. That basically means the car cannot protect us against stuff in the zone at the moment. And then we've got the compass in the middle there, which tells us which direction we're facing. Then we've also got this icon, this thing on the right, the one with the blue line going across it. So basically, this blue line is our radiation indicator. This will tell us how much radiation is currently outside of the car and whether or not it's safe. Now, I'm playing on a setting where there's ambient radiation everywhere, so I'll be constantly taking damage, and this will constantly be moving. But basically, I'm just doing that for an added challenge. And then, just to the right of that, we have the car's health bar. This will tell us how high or low the car's health is. So at the moment, it's stuck low because we don't have all of the panels for our car yet. We don't have all of the panels, and we're missing a door and a bumper, as well as the front left headlight. So once we get some of those panels installed, that will go back up. And then, of course, we've got the carboard here, similar to the one that we saw on the wall over there. The only difference is that it doesn't have the 3 bars or the quirks icon on the side. But it does have everything else, and it still tells us what all is going on. Plus, it tells us the current time in-game. And then, as I showed earlier, we have the ARC device, which is, yet again, basically just a map that shows us all the different things in the area. And it's also what lets us open a gateway back to the garage. It shows us where the things are that we need to do that. And another thing you'll see, this icon right here, this basically tells us which way we need to go in order to continue on a route. So basically, we just need to head for this orange icon. And then, for a few final things, we do have some other things in here. First off, you can manually toggle the headlights on and off, or you can just use the in-game designated button. Same with the wipers, toggle them on, off, or just use the switch. And then you've got the ignition key and the gear shift. So yeah, you've got all of that you need to worry about. You do need to press and hold to turn on the ignition. Normally you need to press and hold for the gear shift, but I've got it to where all I have to do is tap the button on that. Because, I mean, it doesn't really affect that much. It's not like it's not like the half a second longer of shifting into gear is going to matter that much. So, yeah. And then, here on the dash, now that they've been lit up, we've got a few other things. This is the fuel gauge over here on the right side, and this tells us what level our fuel is at. So, we've got a quarter, half, 3/4. So, yeah. And then, right next to it, if I rev my engine a bit, hang on. Let me put it back in park first. If I rev my engine, this is the bar that lets us know how much fuel is currently being burned, like what our fuel consumption rate is. Then over on the left-hand side, we've got our speed. We've got kilometers per hour on the inside and miles per hour on the outside. So we can see what speed we're currently going. But yeah. And then, of course, we got the horn. There's no button, like, linked for the horn as far as I know. You actually just have to look down and hit the prompt for it. But, anyways. There's one more thing on the ARC device I'll have to explain in a minute. But first we gotta head over to the zone. So, let's go to our current destination. And yeah, so these things right here are basically the gateways that we have to go through to travel between the different areas. And so if you can actually travel between these things that you see here will all be lit up blue. However, if you can't travel through there, then they'll all be lit up red. So yeah, you do need to pay attention to that. And plus, it'll show you on the map where they are, which one is open and which ones are closed. So yeah, just pay attention to that to make sure you go through the right ones. And you don't travel all the way to one, only to realize it's not the correct one. And then, once we go through the zone, we get to pick which intersection we head to next. Basically, which junction. So in this case, we're heading to this one. We press and hold to travel there. And then it will put us into a loading screen as we travel. Yep. And then, as you'll notice, because we just went through this gateway...
Keep this simple. Don't want to overwhelm that little brain of yours. You'll need a few things to rebuild the antenna at the garage. First on the list is plasma. The woods are littered with plasma generators. Look for a research trailer or a spark tower. But that's those antenna things zapping you when you get too close. Both are always accompanied by plasma generators.
So yeah, as you can see, the gateway that we just went through turned red. That basically means it's no longer safe to drive back through this gateway. Anyway, which is why we need to open another gateway in order to get back to the garage. As Oppie was saying earlier, all routes in the zone are one way. Basically, once you travel through a certain route, you can no longer use that route again for a while. Or if you do, you have to come through it from a different way.
The ARC device is picking up on some plasma generators nearby. Your headset has a built-in scanner. Use it on the plasma generator, and it'll figure out the tools you need.
Yeah, now you see the line right there is moving. That's indicating that there's low-level radiation outside at the moment, but not anything super harmful yet. So we get out. You'll also see that directly beneath our health bar is another bar. That is the radiation bar. That lets us know how bad the radiation is at the current moment. So right now we've got 2.5K on the radiation bar, which means it's low, so it's not going to kill us fast, but it is going to slowly kill us the longer we stand here.
Looks like it's ripe for the picking. Can't get at it with your hands, though. An impact hammer will do the trick.
Yep. Another thing about this is that if you scan an item that looks like it can be scrapped or used, basically it'll tell you what item you need in order to get it. So in this case, we need an impact hammer, but we don't have one. So what we have to do is craft one. The only problem is, at the moment, we can't actually craft one. We don't have the ingredients. So what do? Instead, we pin it to the checklist. So that way, we know what items we need and how much of each we need.
Necessary. No one's coming back ever again, so go on and take what you need. Transports, homes, outpost facilities, they've all been abandoned since the zone was decommissioned in 87. Most of those structures won't even be there the next time the instability scrambles the area.
Okay, this is another resource here. We need a tool to extract these bulbs. Problem is we don't have that tool, and we can't get it for a while, so instead, we're just going to scrap everything on this pole. Let's get all the parts that we need.
Yes, I was hoping to go another decade without hearing your voice again. What, did you finally talk Francis to death?
Hello to you too, Oppie. And no, I'm still here.
But yeah, you can. Yeah. So I do have all of the loot items highlighted, just because my eyes don't work as well as I'd like them to, and I tend to miss things. So I would much rather just have the loot stuff on. And if some people consider it cheating, oh well, I don't give a shit. I mean, it's just a setting. It's in the game, so why the hell not use it, you know? Alright, so I've got some of what I need. I got the scrap metal to make the gears, but I don't have enough of the actual scrap metal yet. Like the scrap metal for the item itself. So instead, I need to keep looting. Now we come over here, and this door needs an impact hammer to bust it open. Still don't have it yet, so can't do that. But we can scrap some of this. Yep, let me scrap all that. Oop, missed a piece. Oh, and scrap that too. So now we've got almost everything. We can actually have everything. Actually, we do have everything because we got all, I don't know, scrap metal and everything. So now we come back over here. We craft an impact hammer. And then, oh wait, whoops. Yeah, I forgot about that. That's another thing. If you don't have a certain kind of material, but you can refine materials into that, it will actually just automatically do that for you. So it crafted one gear, we craft a second, and now we craft the impact hammer. And the impact hammer is what we use to get at these. Grab the plasma and everything else it gives. It's good for plasma and glass shards and everything. And now, we take this.
Driver, I bet you're dying to hear all about the remnants by now.
Can you not? I'm a little busy trying to keep them alive.
I'll keep to the basics, I promise. They deserve to know what they're getting into.
Fine. I'm giving you 60 seconds.
That is not nearly enough time to get...
55 seconds and counting.
Okay. The remnants, in short, they're old objects that do all sorts of weird things. They bind themselves to people, and you're the latest victim. You and the car are inseparable now, so get acquainted. Once the remnant is bound to someone, they become gradually more obsessed with it. It takes over the victim's mind, until they go crazy and run off into the zone with it. No one has ever been able to resist its siren call. That fixation is probably worming its way into your brain as we speak. This is the first time we've ever got our hands on one. But we know all about the past remnants, and oh gosh, this one time it materialized as an old copper kettle, and the tea that came out of that thing, it was...
And now I'm splitting the transmissions going to your receiver. Anything critical to your immediate needs will broadcast directly and immediately to your radio and headset. Anything not mission critical will be on a low priority frequency. Those transmissions will be recorded and indexed for you to listen to at your leisure. And by low priority, I mean just about everything that comes out of Tobias's mouth.
Yep. Okay, make sure we scrap the panels on this car. Yep, and my scrapper just broke. Good news is, we can just craft another one. Ooh, shit, that's an abductor. Yeah, by the way, make sure to scan the anomalies. Because a lot of them, they're not all of them, but a good chunk of them require you to scan them in order to craft certain upgrades. Okay, so now we finish scrapping all this. go. And I forgot to offload when I was back at the car. Don't do what I did. Make sure that whenever you have to go back to the car for something, you go into the boxes and just offload everything you don't need. So, offload all that. I don't really need that. I'm just going to keep the med kit, keep the first aid kits. Not the other stuff, though. And yes, the road flares that you get can be hooked up and used as a source of light. But once you light them, you have to keep them in your hand, and you can't. And any attempt to switch over to something else will automatically unequip them. So, yeah. Just be aware of that. Basically, once it becomes lit, it's a hands-only item. Which means you can only hold it in your hands and not actually put it in your inventory. So, yeah. Oops. I pressed the wrong button. Now we grab all this. And by the way, make sure to remember the kick button. A lot of people forget about that, and then they end up wasting charge on their scrapper or something to break through fences and stuff. You can literally just walk up, press the button, and kick. In my case, in the bottom right, it says square to kick, boom, square, kick, kick, kick. You don't have to frickin' use your scrapper to break the fence. You can just kick it instead. It's so much easier. And it doesn't waste frickin' tools as well. So, now we put that back, we store that, and now we should have enough materials to craft a few things. First off, let's craft another crude door. Now we put this on the back, boom. And now we craft 1, 2 crude panels. Put the first one there. Pick up the second one. Put that one right here. And we now have all doors and panels on our car. Finally, let's craft 2 more things. We need a crude bumper. So we put that on. And now we craft a crude headlight. And now we equip it. Boom. And we put the headlight on. We now have all pieces and parts of our car in place, meaning the car will now protect us. I need to use a first aid kit though. For a bit of information, first aid kits will typically restore about 50% of your health. So if you're like me, you're playing on ambient radiation, you got first aid kits, don't use them until you get like to half health or lower, because it'll be a waste otherwise. So I wait until I get to about half health to use them. Now before we go anywhere, this is the ARC device and its map. This basically tells us what all is what and what all is where. So in this case, we are currently here at these houses. There are two locations down here that we can go to loot, which are both Audra trailers. So the first one we're going to hit is that one right there. And putting a marker on your map will also show you it in the world, so you don't have to try and guess and keep rubbernecking, looking between the map and the road to figure out where you need to go. Just place down a marker instead. And you can do that for just about anything, including objectives that aren't clearly marked on the map. Or including objectives that are on the map, but not like, in your field of view. And we found the abductor earlier. Oops, wrong. We had the abductor come earlier. Oops, shit. It might be a little... Hold on. Yeah, this is a little too close. Okay, back it up just a bit. But we found... But those guys floating around with the magnets on them are called abductors. This guy is called a spark tower. And these guys basically will zap you if you get too close. The good thing is, they are very easy to avoid if you know what you're doing. So, what I like to do, I like to stand, right here, wait until they start sparking, and then run around and smash the plasma generator. Basically, stand somewhat close to the generator, but not too close. Then that way, when they start sparking, just run around it, because they'll only be sparking you in a straight line. Yeah, so, yeah. The arcs of electricity can only travel in a straight line, which gives you a pretty easy time. It makes it pretty easy to avoid them, so, yeah. Okay. And because he destroyed the trunk before I had jimmied it open or anything, a lot of the stuff inside got destroyed. But, whatever. That was the spark tower's doing, not mine, so I can't behind. So, you can blame the game on that one. Okay, and that one's all parted out. But yeah, if you see a spark tower, you need plasma. Spark towers are a good source of plasma. They always have plasma generators at the base. And sometimes they can have more than one. So in this case, these guys all have one each, but plasma towers can actually have more than one plasma generator at a time. So be sure to, yeah, get this. Oh, fuck. I parked too close and it shocked the shit out of my car, didn't it?
Well, looks like you're near one of the old guerrilla radio stations.
Yeah, it did. Good news is it didn't really do much damage, but it did charge up the front bumper, though. That's not really a good thing. But, anyways. Okay, let's stand over here. Make sure you don't stand, like, in the path of the plasma generator, or make sure the thing, like, doesn't arc over the plasma generator as you're doing it. Because if you do, it will damage it, and it can destroy it, and it will not give you the plasma if the spark tower destroys its own plasma generator. So, yeah, be careful of that. I found that out the hard way. Alright, let's start Arter up, and let's go. There's going to be a quick loot and run, so there's only one thing here, and it's a refrigerator. Okay. Yep. And here we are. This is the houses that we were going to. Let me see, where did that marker go? About right. Oh yeah, gotta zoom it back out. It won't do it automatically. Shut off. And get out. And now, before we go in, say hello to your third anomaly of the game, the pothole. Yeah. I swear, whoever made the names for all of these freaking anomalies that are in this game, they're a fucking evil genius, I tell you what. Pothole for a bunch of fucking floating rocks. Abductor for a freaking robot that flies around and can grab you and haul you and your car away. And then a spark. And then, I mean, the spark tower is fairly self-explanatory. It's a tower that produces sparks of electricity and shocks the shit out of you. So, of course, that one makes sense. But some of the others, man, oof. Just wait till you see some of the other ones we encounter later on. You guys will understand what I mean. So, let's go ahead and loot everything in here. And the loot is randomized, so you can't really, like, predict what all you're going to get. So it's just worth looting everything. Oh yeah, by the way, you'll notice, like, the yellow padlock icon. That basically means something is locked and needs to be jimmied open. And that's when you use the crowbar for it. And you'll have different icons for when things are locked, or, you know, needs to have certain things to open it. So yeah. Alright, now that we've looted this place, we are not heading any further down this road, because there's nothing down there. So instead, we're going to get off this dirt road, get back on the pavement. And I'm pretty sure some of you are wondering what happens if an abductor, like, grabs you. Basically what happens, he does this. And he will drag your car around and throw you all over the place. Good news is he only does that if you drive direct, if you, like, get in his blue light that he's emanating underneath him. If your car or you get underneath him like that, then he'll do that. But he's fairly easy to avoid. Hey man, what's up? But yeah, he is fairly easy to avoid. Just don't drive into his blue light under him. And don't walk into it either. There's a couple of cars here that I want to scrap. Oh yeah, there's another anomaly up there. That is called hot dust. That is basically a high-intense radiation zone. Oh yeah, dude, I love this game. This game is awesome. Even with no fighting back, bro, this is freaking amazing. I love this game a lot. It's such a unique concept, and they implemented it, like, flawlessly, I have to say. Not to mention, it's just, like, the fact that you can literally change everything, make it as easy or as hard on yourself as you want, it just really seals the deal, you know? You can make it insanely difficult on yourself, or you can make it insanely easy. So it all just depends on your play style and how you want to play it. It just makes it so much better. Yeah, I mean, I'm not really into, like, fighting games like 2D side-scrollers or anything like that. But, I mean, like, you know, shooting, fighting zombies, stuff like that. I like that kind of stuff. But, yeah, don't ask me to do PvP. Ain't freaking happening on that. Alright. And let's finish scrapping all these parts off of these cars. But yeah. I was searching for survival games when I came across this game because I was looking for something new in terms of survival. Because nothing really had what I was looking for. And while I admit this isn't exactly what I was looking for at the time, as soon as I saw it and saw what it was about and how the game worked, I was like, okay, I gotta try this. And ever since I tried it, I've been hooked. I haven't been able to stop playing it. It's such a freaking good game, and I love it. Because I love the fact that although you can't fight back, you have to loot and scavenge for parts, and your car is your shield. Well, basically at the time, I was looking for like a game that was open world. It had a lot of freedom. It was like I was looking for like an open world MMORPG type thing. Because at the time I was heavily into like fantasy RPGs. So that's kind of what I was looking for, like a massive one with a lot of freedom and stuff. But I just couldn't really find the specific kind that I was looking for. And I was being pretty picky about it. So, but then I found this one. So, actually, no, that was a different time. Yeah. When I found this one, I was looking for survival games that take place in the Alaskan wilderness. But there was only a set few of them, and I was looking for one that was both, like, really well made and had online multiplayer. But, of course, there aren't any really like that. The closest one to that is actually The Long Dark, which I played a good bit of, but I never got around to, like, finishing the game or doing anything like that because, I mean, yeah, it was cool and everything, and it was a good concept, but it just really wasn't my thing. I just couldn't bring myself to finish it, so the game was good, but it just wasn't for me, you know? But anyways, let's go ahead and get out of here, and here, store this stuff. Alright. And just so you know, in case you weren't here earlier, I do have ambient radiation enabled, which basically means I'm constantly being irradiated no matter where I go or what I do, except for certain safe spots that the game has set up for certain things. But yeah, basically I'm being constantly irradiated, and I have to use my healing supplies in the appropriate manner. But I've discovered a few things that way. For one, I've discovered that first aid kits restore exactly 50% of your health. So, and that means that I can wait until my health dips just below 50% before using it, so that it restores the maximum amount. Okay, yeah, avoid that, because that is not the greatest. That is not good. Hot dust is something you definitely want to avoid, if you can avoid it. Okay. Looks like I have to drive through this. Don't stay in it too long, though. Good news is that still isn't really enough to heavily damage your car, but I wouldn't recommend staying in it. Oh yeah, and here we have our next anomaly. The bollard. Oh shit. I didn't think about that. I thought I'd parked far enough away. I didn't realize I was that close. Okay, back up. I keep forgetting, you gotta park your freaking car super far away from the spark towers, because they can still get you even from that far away. Alright. Oh, nope. Take that one first. Bait it. And now we go for it. You gotta be smart about it. There we go. And now we use the first aid kit.
That radio station's up on a hill somewhere. Eyes to the horizon.
I know, Oppie. I am looting. Leave me alone. Okay. Yep. The bollard. And we're probably going to have another encounter with another anomaly here pretty shortly. Oh shit. There's a fence around this now? That's the first time I've done on a run through this and had a fence be at this gas station. But anyways, go ahead and scan this, just because. One thing I have noticed, though, the game does not do a very good job of letting you know of certain things. You'll scan anomalies to these and then look at the description to find out what they are, and you'll get fragments of, like, you know, journals or transmissions or something, and it won't tell you anything about the anomaly. So you're just like, well, what the hell does the anomaly do? You have to, like, find out the hard way what it does. So, yeah, I just went through and just, like, figured out what all the anomalies do, and I had to look some of them up because I didn't really know, but now I know what a number of the anomalies do and what they're about, and I know how they behave. Hey, so, yeah. Okay, be sure to scrap that, take that. Yeah, I will admit, it kinda is more fun. But, you know, I wish that maybe they did put some kind of description, or maybe they use those transmissions to actually, like, say what the anomaly does, or like, hey, we discovered that this anomaly will do this. I mean, if they did that, then yeah, I'd be all for that, because that would definitely make sense. But, you know, the fact that they just give the transmissions, and a lot of the times the transmissions don't actually tell you what the anomaly does, or how it behaves, it's just like, ugh. It can be a little annoying to try and figure it out. But, yeah. Okay. Oh, another thing about the ambient radiation is that depending on the building you walk into, like with this gas station, if I'm out here, I'm taking radiation damage. But if I'm in here, I'm actually safe from the radiation damage, which I think is a neat little feature. So if you're in a building, you need to stop for a minute and just, like, recuperate or do something else, you can walk into the building to get out of the ambient radiation, which is nice. Nice. So if you're playing like me, you got ambient radiation turned on, that's a little tidbit for you to know. Okay, scrap the TV. And be sure to collect the electronics, because electronics are like freaking gold in this game. Because they're one of the most heavily used components, and yet they're also one of the hardest components to actually acquire. So, yeah. No problem, man. Alrighty. So now we're gonna have to leave that flare there, because we can't put it in our inventory at the moment. Oh. Aha! See, this is why I have the loot highlights turned on. I never would have seen that otherwise. And now we store. Okay, there's an abductor over there. So, we take this. Now we leave. I think there'll probably be a few cars along the path here, unless I'm missing my guess. So, yep, sure as shit. I called it. Go ahead and get these cars. Because in the beginning you want to collect every last bit of scrap and all the materials you can get, because you will most likely need them later on, whether you know it or not. So yeah, when you get into the later game, you tend not to like scrap a lot of the smaller stuff at some point, but you will be gathering other resources. So for now, though, I need to gather up all of the normal resources that I can, the common ones, the ones that are easy to find. Okay, now we head up here. There's a bollard. And here we are. We have our next anomaly, which is very dangerous, and you need to be very careful of it. And I swear, like I said, the man who named these anomalies is a freaking evil genius. These are called tourists, and you need to avoid them like the fucking plague. Hey, no worries, man. And I get it. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Alright. But yeah, avoid them like the plague. The reason you need to avoid the tourists is because they explode. Thanks, man. I will. See you later. Alright. But yeah, avoid the tourists like the plague. They will explode if you hit them. So do not frickin' touch them. Because they deal serious damage to your car if you hit them and they explode. Alrighty, here we go. Now we go this way. And we stop here. Because there's another car. I'm not going to shut the car off for this one, because this one shouldn't take very long. I'm just going to do this, get it spun up, and just scrap everything that's on it. There we go. I think that was everything. Ooh, you know what? I just realized there was something I should have done back at the garage, and I didn't do it, so I do it because I didn't really think of it. But I can actually kind of do it here. Let's take the gas can out. Oh. Yeah, well, so much for that idea. I thought I could siphon some out of the car. There wasn't any in the car to begin with. Alright, well, I guess we'll just head up to the top then. Head up to the antenna tower here. Oh yeah, that mark is still there from earlier. Alright, well, we'll worry about that in a minute. Once we get to the top here. Right here, perfect. Shut that off, because there's some stuff here to loot. And my scrapper's damn near broken again. Search the trunk. Ooh, some good stuff in there. And yeah, this this tank's empty too. Okay. Might go back down to the gas station and do it once I have to... Well, once I have to deal with this next part. Because I'm going to have to go back in that direction anyways. So, yeah. Probably will do it then. Alright. Anyways. But yeah. I think I'll just fill that gas can in the back of my car once we head back for the gas station. Because we're going to have to head back that direction anyways. For this next bit. Okay, get all that. Make sure that's everything. And it is. So now, we'll take that.
Time to get moving. The instability's ticking up by the second. But you can't get back the way you came. The instability makes all
All routes one way. And that's where my arc device comes into play. It'll get you back to the garage, but it needs to be charged first. And to do that, you'll need anchors. Take a look at the arc device display. It maps all anchors in the nearby area. Find an anchor and feed it to the arc device to charge it. But don't you worry your pretty little head about how it works. You'll be out of here soon, so there's no reason to learn more about Link technology than you need to know.
Yep. Okay, so basically now, to explain it, these yellow circles that have appeared on the map are what's known as anchors. And basically, the anchors for the lore of the game are what help keep certain areas stable. They're also what you need in order to open a gateway to get back to the garage. On the right side of it, I can't really move the cursor over there, but you'll see on the right side, there's a bar with a line over it. And that will tell you how much arc energy you need in order to get back. Now, that the game doesn't tell you this early on is that the arc energy from these anchors is actually also used in getting garage upgrades, unlocking new blueprints, and a few other things. So, if you want to unlock everything really quickly, I would recommend that every time you enter an area, you just automatically grab all of the anchors. Because, believe me, it is worth it. So now, we have set a marker on that one. We are going to go after it. And I will tell you a little bit about the anchor once I get there. But first, we got to get down to it. And I would be wary going off-road. Don't do it unless you know, like, you can avoid hitting a lot of the larger and more dangerous trees, so. And that, right there, is an anchor. I'm going to leave the car running for a reason.
Those anchors may look like glowing balls of magic, but it's Limtech through and through. Don't be scared. They haven't exploded in anyone's face recently.
But yeah. So we need to open the passenger door. And once we do this, we need to get the hell out of here quickly. First off, I'm going to scan it, because there's an upgrade that requires me to scan all 3 types of anchors. And yes, there are 3. But once we do this, we need to get the hell out of Dodge, and fast, because as soon as we do this, all sorts of anomalies are going to start popping up because the instability in the area is going to tank. Rip it off, shove it in, and then immediately get back to the driver's seat. And get the hell out of here. Do not stick around after you've pulled an anchor, because there will be so many anomalies popping up, it's not even funny. So I'm going to have to come back to this area, so I'm going to leave that anchor there for now, because I will have to come back. But I'm going to head back up here and get all of these anchors that are over here. I didn't have enough time to stop. I thought they would have despawned by now. But apparently not. Oh well. I'll have to fix my car up in a minute. But for right now, let's just worry about getting back to... Oh yeah, there's an anchor over in this direction. In the woods. Shit. Oh. Well, he already grabbed something else, so that's good. As long as he grabs that other thing and not me, I'm okay. So... Oop, okay, so that's not quite where I need to be. I'm headed kind of in the wrong direction here. That's another thing, is that the map is sometimes confusing. It doesn't tell you... It's hard to see exactly where you're going when you're looking at the map, and your car's bouncing all over the place. Because it makes the little arrow icon that's your character, that basically is your character, harder and harder to look at. So really quickly, get the truck scanned. Nope, yep, and there goes the scrapper. Oops, wrong thing. Scrapper. There we go. Oh, this thing's got a little bit of fuel in it. In that case, once we snap all the parts off of it, we will grab the fuel can and start filling up. Might as well take it from this. Might as well take it from the cars that are just sitting here. There's a gear there. Use another first aid kit real quick. And there we go. Now we open the door. We rip off the anchor, stick it the hell in, and be sure to close the door when we get the hell out of Dodge. Oops. Shit, I didn't mean to do that. And that is why you need to get the hell out, because anomalies will start popping up like crazy. Including the bollards and a few other things. So, yeah. Oof. I was going to siphon fuel off that truck, but oh well. I didn't really think about it. I should have done it before I pulled the anchor, but whatever. Sometimes my brain chooses just to not work. So, yeah. Anyways. Okay, really quickly, I'm just gonna back up to this. Oh, whoops, hang on. I gotta do that, because that's important. Cool, I can still access it. I need this, because a lot of the stuff up here is in desperate need of repair. Like that. And that. And this, yeah. Okay, I think that should be good though. I've repaired the most important bits. So, really quickly, I should be able to just do it from here. So we just... Yep, bingo. Then we'll have some spare fuel. And just go ahead and top up the car while we're at it. Because we have been driving around a good bit. So there we go. We've got that all filled up. Next up, we need to grab this arc device that's up here. Yeah, it kind of helps if you turn the car on, dumbass. Okay, there we go. So now, we drive up here. Yeah, and... Oop. That radiation again. now we do this. Because right now our engine is not the greatest, so it doesn't have the power to climb steep hills. So we have to go on the shallowest hill that we can get. Okay, we put it in park, we shut her off, because we got some stuff here to loot on top of everything else. We grab that, grab that, grab that. And by the way, on these doors that you can see, that you can clearly see like a chain, a padlock, and a few other things, yeah, you need the crowbar on these. Or the pry bar, as the game calls it. There we go. Now that we've got all that, we open the door. Rip out the anchor. Okay, come on, get it in there.
The arc device is charged and ready. You'll use it to open a gateway back to the garage. But it will immediately collapse the stability. So only activation absolutely limited. You do not want to get caught in the storm that follows.
And she is right. Do not activate the gateway to get out of here until you're absolutely ready to leave. Because once you do, you'll have a limited amount of time to be able to get to the gateway and open it. So what I would recommend you do... Oh, hang on. What the hell was... That looked like a rare material. Did I see that right? What is this? I'll be damned, it was. Normally you don't get this till way later in the game, but... somehow I got it just now. Not really sure how, but hey. Ain't about to complain either. Anyways. So first off, before we do that, let's take a look at this. These over here are the gate points. These are the points you use when you want to activate the gateway to get back to the garage. We have enough energy to do it right now. But like I said, the anchor energy is also used for unlocking upgrades and upgrading stuff in the shop, and a few other things. So, we are going to grab this last anchor point that's right here before we leave. And plus, there's another thing that I need to explain real quick about the gateways, and that is that with the gateways, you see the orange circle that pops up around them whenever you hover over it? That is basically telling you how far away from it you need to be to activate, like the minimum distance away you need to be. So if you get like right up next to that before you activate it, that'll be that much less you have to drive to get to it. So it's actually more worth it to just wait until you're ready to leave, and then drive as close to the gateway as you can get, so that way once you activate it you don't have to drive very far. What the heck? Oh, shit. Wrong thing. Oh, that was just plastic. Don't really care about that much. Okay, anyways. Shit, I forgot that was there. The brush does a real good job of hiding stuff sometimes. But anyways, now we head to the anchor point that's down here.
Oh, don't worry about me. Take your time. If you never get back to the garage, that suits me just fine.
Yeah, I bet it does, you old bat. Anyways, this is the last one, so let's grab it, stick it in, and let's book it. So, oh, Jesus Christ, yep. Yeah, the bollard's setting me into the... Oh, Jesus Christ. Well, you gonna flip me back over, or you just gonna fucking leave me here? Well, I mean, that works. But I think one of my parts is... Yeah, one of my parts is badly damaged. A few of them are, actually. Shit, okay, I can't do that. Okay, screw it. We'll worry about fixing it once we're back at the shop. But for right now, we need to get down there before we run out of health. So now we come into here. We activate this gateway and drive for it.
You see that glowing pillar in the sky? Drive into it. Yes, it looks like hot death, but it's so much better than getting scrambled by the instability.
Yep. So, yeah, basically we just activate the gateway and drive into this yellow pillar of light. That takes us back to the garage. Bingo! Ha ha ha!
Oh, well. You're alive.
For certain that the zone didn't get you, that gateway would. Did I not mention that you're the first human I've sent through that thing? I mean, there are rodents, but it's not like it's completely untested. But anyway, it worked. So, you should have made it back with everything you collected out there. That's the beauty of the gateway. The way to get back with all your models intact. Now, take those parts you found into the back room. I'll let you use my fabrication station. For now. That station has cut ways for you to rig up anything from roof racks to flare guns. Setting an antenna with those parts you brought back should be easy as pie, but it requires anchor juice to work its magic, so bring back as many as you can. And just because I haven't used that garage in decades doesn't mean you can trash the place. Mess up my equipment and I'll throw you to the anomalies so quick you'll get whiplash. We clear?
Yep. Okay, so we take all of these, and now we come over here, stick them in there, and then where's that? There it is. That paint. We got a paint job there. So we store it in there, and we'll leave the trunk open for right now because we kind of need to do some stuff. And this is the fabrication station. This is where you unlock all of your blueprints for crafting upgrades, all of your shop upgrades. This is where it all gets unlocked. So right here, we take this, and we can go upgrade the antenna on the roof with it. So more routes will be available to us. There we go. Now we jump down, and really quickly, just to finish off this pry bar, let's go ahead and just pry this door open, so that we can make a new one that has full health.
Coming through loud and clear. Give it a moment to initialize.
Yep. Okay. So now the game wants us to install a handbrake. And the handbrake is in this locker. You're probably asking, why couldn't we do that before? Because we were locked out of this room. We needed the impact hammer to gain access, and we couldn't get it until we got the parts out in the field. So now we have access to it. And we also have access to something else. We now have access to a hand vac. This little beauty is actually a really useful tool. So, and now we can also take this repair putty, this food, and we can drop a couple of these. We can drop those two things because we don't really need them at the moment. But we open the hood and install the handbrake. And the handbrake is a permanent upgrade, so that always helps out. Anyways, now we head back. Oh yeah, before we continue with the fabrication station, let me go ahead and hit the friendly dumpster like the game's telling me to. There's a reason you want to hit it this time, because the friendly dumpster will give you this. Oof, hang on, there we go, he gave a lot of stuff, but he gives you this. This is the transfer trunk.
Everything's in working shape, more or less. I've hooked up the antenna to the route planner. Give it a look after you're done peeping through my garage.
Yep. So basically, this is the transfer trunk. This little beauty is a lifesaver, I tell you what. Because this is what it lets you do. When you go into your inventory, it'll be the transfer trunk. And then you can simply move over, click a button to transfer all the materials, and boom! Everything is in the trunk. You can transfer everything you need to from the trunk of the car into the locker in one trip. No making back and forth trips on this game. The developers even thought of that. They're like, you know, players are probably going to get annoyed having to haul all that back and forth. Well, how about we give them something to help them transport it between the trunk and the lockers? Boom, transfer trunk, right there. And this thing will always be here. It'll always be in the last place you left it. So make sure you set it down close to the car. That way you can just grab it when you need to. Yeah, I am so glad they thought of that, because that is just great. Makes it to where you don't have to make like 4 and 5 trips between your car and the locker just to put everything away. And it is so convenient. I love it a lot. Alright, so now that we've gotten this, we got the repair putty. Let's go ahead and take a look. What panels need it the worst? Oh, holy hell, everything on the left-hand side is basically destroyed, and almost everything on the right-hand side is like half health, except for the front right fender. This thing is actually starting to be destroyed. Jesus. Slap some stuff on that. There we go, that's better. Fix that. And the headlight. Nah. Oh, well, the hood's not that bad off, so it can wait for a minute. The headlight, yeah, that does need to be fixed. And so does this panel. And this door. Everything along the left-hand side needs to be fixed, basically. How's this? This ain't that bad, but I'm gonna hit it with repair putty anyways. Same with this. This ain't that bad. A little above health of half. I'm gonna hit that with it as well. Same with that. And same with that. And hit that with it. Okay. Now we hit the bumper. The headlight was good. And okay, yeah. Now we need to hit the. Yeah, now we hit the hood with it. There we go, bingo. But it looks like the rear left door and the front right door both have status effects. What are they? Okay, that's cracked. And that's cracked as well. So I need a couple of sealing kits. Good thing is we just got a whole bunch of supplies, so I can just craft a couple. Craft 1 and 2. And now we just take those sealing kits. Seal up that. And seal up that. Bingo. Good as new. Now, we don't have any more objectives that we need to complete at the moment. So, now I'm going to introduce you to the fabrication station and what all it can do. There is so many things we can do right now. First off, though, what I want to do is research these. Because these are other parts you're going to need to be able to craft certain things. So, we research a light bulb. And now, we do a steel sheet. And I'm going to research all of these parts that I can for right now. Because these parts are going to be needed to craft certain things early on. So, now that we've got all those that we can do, we can't get any more for the time being. So, Next up, let's do the blueprint for the hand vacuum, so we can just craft one whenever we need one. And we do the light replacement kit, because we are going to be dealing with broken headlights. And then, we can't do that yet. We can do the electrician's kit, because we're going to need that too for shorted out spark plugs and a few other things. Can't do the blowtorch yet. Can't do that. Can't do that. We can do this one, though. Oop. That is for the Liberator. The Liberator is basically a tool that lets us break car parts off of car wrecks and use them on our car. Okay, can't get the upgrade for that yet, but we can get the anchor radar, though. And I think that's just about all of the part upgrades. Yeah, all of the tool upgrades we can get. Next up, we're going to craft the matter deconstructor kit. Or the matter deconstructor. And what is the matter deconstructor? Well, basically, it is this thing. And what this thing does is it lets us pick up parts that we don't need or that we don't want and that we want to break down for the materials again. So we can carry it over, put it in, and it gives us back basically all of the parts that we spent to craft it. Or, if we didn't craft it in this case, which we did not craft these panels. The amount it gives you back can also depend on the item's condition. So the better condition the item is in, the more parts you're going to get out of it. Yep. And it just throws those all out. Now we can move on to some other things. First things first, an outfitting station. This is vitally important. This is going to be like incredibly important for surviving the wasteland. For surviving, I say the wasteland. For surviving all of the anomalies in the zone. Because this gives you access to character upgrades. So first thing we can do is craft a medium backpack, which immediately increases the amount of stuff we can hold at one time. Some powered boots, so that we don't take as much fall damage. A padded parka for 30% impact resistance. And to bump that up to 45, a personal airbag. Can't do anything with those, but we can make a grounded sweater, which makes us 30% more resistant to electricity. And that's about all we can craft at the moment. But that just gave us a huge boost, because now we won't take as much damage from certain things. So now, we need to do a few other things. First off, let's craft the matter regenerator, because this is going to be useful for some of those more rare parts that are either aren't available to craft or are hard to craft. Or if we don't want to waste the resources on repair putty. Because what this thing does, actually, I should explain, is you put car parts in here, and while you're out on a drive doing other things, it will repair them for you. It does it kind of slowly, so you will have to go out on a drive and then come back and see what condition they're in. But it does let you do that. You can go out on a drive, put the parts in here while you're gone, and then it'll just repair whatever parts you put in. So yeah. Next up, since we've done that, we need a circuit board for that, but we don't really need that yet because we haven't actually had any quirks happen. And we won't for a little bit. So now, we do the detailing kit. Now this is kind of more of just like a cosmetics upgrade type deal. But, it is necessary to get this to get to some of the other more useful upgrades down below. So you do have to install this. But one thing it does let you do is change what kind of stuff you have installed in your car. So in this case, I can equip a bobblehead, a certain steering wheel, a shifter, a hood ornament, and some bumper stickers. So yeah, I can do all of that. But yeah, it lets me equip a lot of that stuff. And you can see the steering wheel I have equipped now. Those are part of a cosmetic items upgrade thing I did. So now, since we've done all that, I need to take a look here. How much energy? Okay, we got a good bit left. We're good. We can afford to get a few more things. We can do the fax machine. We need a circuit board for it. What do I want to do for right now? The auto pack vac, maybe? Actually, one thing I should do is the expanded lockers. Because the expanded lockers are going to be very useful. Oh, I can't craft a circuit board, so I can't do anything with that yet. I don't have enough electronics. Oh yeah, hang on one second. I forgot to store these things in here. The two other things that I have. Yep, bingo. Okay, we install that one there. Install that one there. There we go, that's more like it. Okay. Now we come back here. And since we got the steel sheets to do it now, we craft an expanded locker kit. And we're going to put this one right here. And that will basically give us more storage space to store more materials with. So we won't run out of storage space too quickly. And we're going to get all of these because we're going to fill up on materials very quickly. So we're going to need them. The expanded lockers. Next one is going to go over here. And now, the final one is going to go right here. Perfect. Now, since we've done that, let's see what else we can do. Okay, can't do anything else at the moment, and that's fine. Not from there anyways. But we can do a normal headlight, which is definitely going to be good. And then we can do a relightable flare, which is going to be better than just burning through a ton of road flares. And I think, yeah, we can do a flare gun. Even though we don't really need to, I'm just going to unlock it anyways. Because I don't really use the flare gun. So, okay, yeah, I'm out of fabric. I was hoping to craft some steel stuff, but looks like I ran out of fabric before I could. Oh well. That's just the way things go. Just gonna go ahead and pick up all this stuff. And then store it in here. Another thing you should do, every time you come back, come and check out the vehicle behind the garage. Because it changes every time you leave and come back. Oh yeah, actually, speaking of electronics, I can just scrap these and get some electronics out of them. And probably. There's one electronics. And there's a second one. So that's two. Nice. Now, we jimmy the lock of this trunk. We collect all that. And then we proceed to scrap all of the panels of it. Okay. Before we give up all hope on crafting some of those things, one thing I will do, actually, after I finish scrapping all the parts off this car, is hit up the friendly dumpster. Because sometimes, when you hit them up, if you really need an item to craft something or unlock something, you can just hit up the friendly dumpster, and sometimes he'll give it to you. Not always, but sometimes. Okay, please give me some fabric. Oh! He gave me a freaking cosmetic item. Alright, hey, cool. Not gonna complain about that, though. Glass shards. He's just giving me a ton of glass shards. Oh, he did give me some repair putty, though. I kind of need that. Oh well. I was hoping he'd give me some fabric, but hey, beggars can't be choosers, right? Anyways, anything else on the car need badly repairing? Nope. Everything on the car is all hunky-dory. In that case, we will store this. And let's put this cosmetic item in here. So it says it's the welded steering wheel. What exactly is that? Oh. Okay, that's not a bad one. That's actually a nice looking one. But I'm going to keep this one for now. Just because I do like that one and I want you guys to see what it looks like. Okay, and I think... Oh, we can unlock some other stuff. We can unlock the side racks for the car. I think all of these racks just require, like, stable energy. So, we might as well unlock them all right now. Oh. Well, I just ran out of anchor energy to craft them. So, yeah. Oh, well. That's the way things go. We're going to have to go out on another supply run here. But that's going to be... Yeah. That's going to be after we take a look at some of the stuff we can make. First things first. Ooh. Oh, man. If I'd have known that, I would have just frickin' used this on the car out back. But, whatever. I can craft the Liberator. I'll craft the after relightable flare, too. And I will craft a handback, just because I know that the one I have is kind of on its last legs. So... Oh. I can craft a headlight, though. Might as well. Just to replace the one that I have. Okay. We swapped that one out. And now we got two much more normal looking headlights. Scrap that. Jeez, okay. So, now that I have the relightable flare, I do not need the flares anymore. Okay, I don't need the hand vacuum as of yet. But, once we get more hotbar slots unlocked, we'll worry about it. For right now, though, it's about time we take another drive. Because we got some stuff to upgrade.
Ready to make this remnant verification a one-and-done thing? I'm sending you to visit Colossal Cappy. If that old anomaly doesn't induce electromagnetic resonance in your car, then we're free from Tobias's fever dreams and we can get you out of here. With that antenna fixed, you can now detect stabilized road junctions in the outer zone. You've got a stable route heading straight to Cappy's front door, but the energy readings are off the roof. I advise you not to take the zone lightly. You better gear up or you may not survive the trip. Which would make my life easier, so your call.
Okay, so... Yep. We're headed over here. Guess I should take a look at what all is there. Vehicle density, building density is a little low. It should still work for gathering resources, though. I mean, I do need to gather up a ton of scrap metal because I just burned through my whole supply. But yeah, I got some cool looking stuff in here now. Oh wait, actually, before I go, there is one more thing I want to do. First things first, I want to paint and wrap my car. Even if the parts are still, like, not the greatest. Wait, did I... Oh, wait. Hang on one second, guys. I need to check something. I think I enabled this. I just wanted to make sure. No, I did not. Okay. I'm glad I checked that because I did not enable that, and I thought I had. I wanted to enable infinite cosmetic durability. Wait, what? Oh, this is matcha paint. Okay, well, whatever. It's a paint. I don't really give a shit. Okay, just paint everything. Because why the hell not? Oh yeah, you can paint the wheels too, I forgot about that. And now, we wrap it. There we go. We wrap everything up real quick. Oop. There we go. Perfect. Alright. Oh yeah, hang on. I didn't get the wheels on this side. They're kind of mismatched at the moment. There we go. Not the best looking paint, but hey. Nice. Heck yeah. Okay. Oh yeah, and before we go, that handbrake counts as an ability, so we're going to assign it to the circle button. Alrighty. Now that we've done that, let's go get ourselves some resources, shall we? And hopefully unlock some more blueprints. The fact that you can flip around the bobblehead. Malfunction anomalies are stronger. Yep. So that means the ones that cause your car to go haywire are stronger in this region. And that's not great. That means my car will probably be doing all sorts of crazy shit that I'm not telling it to do. Okay, here we go. Let's see what all's in this area. First off, looks like there's some houses up here to my right. Is that to the right? Or is that, like, more left? Maybe both, I don't know. Oh, no, I guess it's to the left. Yep, there it is. Okay.
The Octovice needs different charge levels to overcome the conditions for a gateway. You'll have to feed anchors to the Octovice until it's satisfied, and she'll tell you how many she needs at any given time.
Nice, a lot of fabric there. Heck yeah. Ooh boy, I can hear that. I will introduce you guys to that in a minute. Oh. Say hello to the beating heart. That is one of the few helpful anomalies. That anomaly, if your car is heavily damaged, or if it's just damaged at all, drive up next to that and it will actually start to heal and repair your car. Sure thing, Keith. One sec. Let me do that real quick. Hi. So apparently you saw me screaming, huh? Yeah, I'm not surprised. I'm glad that I can stream again now. My new internet came today, and we just got it installed. And oh my god, it's so much fucking better. So my old speed was like 10 megabytes per second, like maximum. The most I was getting is like, for download speeds was like 20 something. That was absolute max. I'm getting 250 now on average. Yeah, it's a fucking huge improvement, bro. It's so fucking nice. Ugh. And I tried downloading Construction Sim on here on PlayStation just to see how long it would take. Yeah, so my new internet is freaking awesome. It's amazing, bro. I love it. And I downloaded Construction Sim just to see how long it would take, because it's like a 12 gigabyte game. And let me put it this way. Normally, to get like halfway through it, it would take like 4 or 5 hours. I walked away for 5 fucking minutes, came back, and it was already halfway done. It was just like, holy shit, I knew it was fast. I didn't think it was that fast. Jeez, dude. But yeah. But it is very nice to be able to stream again now. Okay, and this is an anomaly called a left right. But yeah, so the left-right anomaly, just so you guys know, I will be explaining things because I'm streaming, so, and I will be leaving this on YouTube. So the left-right anomaly is one of the anomalies in the game that is called a malfunction anomaly. And if you drive into it, your car will start to go haywire. So make sure not to drive into it, because then your car will start to do all sorts of things it's not supposed to. I will not. And meet yet another anomaly. One that will tear you up if you get too close. Meet the can opener. This little sucker will rip your car wide open if you let him. The good news is he's very easy to avoid because he only runs back and forth across this red line that you see on the ground. He can't deviate from that. So as long as you avoid the red line, he can't actually destroy your car. So yeah, definitely just avoid the red line if you can. Or if you gotta drive across it quickly. So now yeah. transmuter, what does this take? Gears to electronics? How many? 6? Bro. Say fucking less. I am... Oh. Oops. There you go. Glass shards to electronics, how many? Damn, alright, here we go. Oh. Ow, okay. Probably shouldn't have jumped from that high, but whatever. Let's craft some more gears. There we go. Now we head up again. There we go. And by the way, those transmuters basically will turn one type of material into another. But you do need a certain number of them. So... Oops, whoop. Wrong fucking place. How many gears did this damn transmitter in here need to make electronics? 6. That's good. That one just popped up out of nowhere. Alright. Jeez. Alrighty, here we go. Didn't follow my own advice. There we go. Fuck off my car, you little shits. I was gonna say it's close, but it's not that fucking close. No, it fucking ain't. Save this beating heart. My sister drove me nuts with that song. Do not even get me started on it. Shut up before I mute your ass. Duct tape to 9-volt batteries. Okay, I don't need 9-volt batteries that bad. that thing over there, because that thing will cause my car to go haywire. So, oops, shit. Need to pay attention, dumbass. Oof, ow. Yes, I am. Because I wasn't looking at the screen. I was looking down at my phone screen because I got my stream going on my phone, so I can look back at it, see if everything's alright. Because whenever I did it before, it was just like always glitching and skipping and doing all sorts of shit. So I want to make sure that nothing bad is happening and everything is going the way it's supposed to, you know? So... And I was looking at my phone, making sure everything was alright, not paying attention to where I was going, while I was driving, and you can imagine what happened as a result. I freaking crashed. So, yeah, okay. Done. Yep, okay, turn that on. Ooh, telephone. And my scrapper broke. Not surprising. Ooh, there's a bunch of sodium lights on that thing, though. That'll give me a good amount of scrap metal. Okay, get me another scrapper. Okay. This will be a good opportunity to use a tool I haven't demonstrated yet. The hand vacuum. The hand vac basically just pulls all of the stuff that is on the ground towards you and puts it in your inventory. So all of the scrap pieces and materials that are on the ground will automatically be put into your inventory when you use it. Same scheme, you dumbass. Ooh. And say hello to another anomaly. This one is known as Sizzling Mist. Basically a giant electrified cloud. Do not go into it. It will fry the living shit out of you and your car. So yeah, avoid it at all costs. That is an atmospheric shift. Oh crap. And the instability is closing in too. That's what that frickin' alarm means. Alright, I gotta hurry. Looks like I'm just grabbing the anchors. I need to keep an eye out and see where the hell the instability is closing in from, so I'll know which area to head for first. Why do I not believe you? Don't tell me to shush. Don't tell me to hush either. You don't get to tell me what to do. I don't give. You think I give a shit? Yeah. Yep. This instability is really starting to crank up. I gotta hurry. That's a good fucking car right there to grab parts off of, but I don't have fucking time. Instability's already closing in, I gotta get the fuck out of here. Jesus, alright. Barely fucking made that. I had to pass up a Squire that I could have gotten some good parts off of, but...
Now, interesting thing about those anchor plugs, they use limb technology to stake down pockets of stability in an area. Basically, they delay how quickly you're turned into Swiss cheese out there.
Are you making use of my fabrication station to fix up that junker? Well, I'm still in the mood to allow it. And there's the test track behind the garage.
There we go.
If you need to take anything for a spin.
Take some of the pieces off of this car. Go. All of the panels are now steel. First things first, let's do this so that should I need to, I can make more of them. The steel bumpers definitely we want, because that'll be a massive upgrade of the crude ones that we have. And now, the steel doors. Can also get the insulated door blueprints. Okay, can't do that one. Can't do that one yet because I haven't scanned any lead shielding. Alright, I can do the electric panel, insulated panel and panel one as well, but that's about it. Because for this one, I need to scan a crackling crawler anomaly. which I have not done yet. So I can scan the side. I can craft the or unlock the side floodlights, but next up, summer tires. Off-road. And now we finish putting on the side racks. Grab a couple of circuit boards. And craft a bunch of steel sheets, because I kind of need them. Yep. There we go. Alright. Okay. Get the fax machine put in here. Okay, don't need this. I was gonna say just put this up because kind of have to. And we'll do the Vargas Auto Pack Vac Kit. Because when we do that, that'll make it to where anytime we use this vacuum in here to suck up all the parts, it'll instantly put them in the transfer trunk. There we go. Alrighty. Perfecto. Now, let's get back to what we were doing before. Putting all the racks on the car so that we have room for upgrades. I'll have to paint the car and wrap it in a minute, because right now I got a bunch of parts that are mismatched colors. Okay. Don't have enough stable energy. I have enough for this, though. So we'll unlock the side storage because that will still be useful. And we unmark this. There we go. Perfect. Let's go ahead and fill this sucker up. There we go. Put that back, pick this up, store that in there. Oh, wait, actually, should also store that. And also store these. Plus, I have to do this. I think... no, I don't have any paints. I just have a decal. There we go. Swap that one out. Jeez. There we go. Just grab that sucker. Yep. It's a trap! like that's it. Yep. I can't grab the battery jumper, so I'm just gonna have to go without that for now. But anyways, now that I've gotten all that dealt with, I guess we'll pay a visit to Remsley and Finley Dumpster. See if they gives us anything that we need. Nope. Okay. Oh, whatever. There we go. Now. Alrighty, here we go. Now that we've done that. Okay. I think I'm gonna call the stream there, because, oof, I've been going for a good while. So, yeah, it's nice to be streaming again, because I just couldn't do it because of how shitty my internet was before. Now that my internet's a lot fucking better, I can finally fucking stream again, and I can enjoy doing it. So, anyways, that is going to do it for this episode, guys. If you liked it, please hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and as always, this is Warwegian Bot, signing out. Alright.